when you speak the word of God over your circumstances, things change. Okay, this is what this comes down to. As humans, we get so scared. We just get so scared, either because we think we need an immediate solution or a change that day, and we think, but it's a literal, real physical circumstance. It has to be today. Something has to happen today. I can't afford to wait for God. I can't afford to trust God. Or because maybe we just feel like we've been waiting for so long in a particular area, or because we're listening to the lies of the enemy that we should feel ashamed or, condemned about our past in whatever area, or because for a lot of us quite driven folks who have, a really switched on mind and so on, then a lot of the time it is because we're thinking, well, I got to bring something to the table here. I don't want God to think I'm a lazy daughter, so what should I be doing? Tell me what to do. And so sometimes it's that getting caught up in our own idea of our own capabilities and so on. And of course, the abilities that we've been given by God are gifts, and they're gifts to be used. So we're not diminishing our abilities, our natural characteristics. If you're a very intense kind of go-go person like me, like most people I know who are close to me in my life, either online or in person, then it doesn't mean you need to tame yourself down and be a different person, but it's about the fact that all of that is meant to rest in God. And so where you want to pull up, and this is going to be kind of where I'm going to close all of this, where you want to pull up is basically the moment you know that your filter is not God. Your filter is you or your fear. Your filter is your fear or your doubt or your anxiety. And maybe you're doing a pretty decent job of convincing yourself that you need to consider all these different pathways and possibilities, and that you do have these skills and these abilities, and so therefore you should use them, and surely God expects you to. And it's not that he's going to have you sit on your butt and do nothing, although sometimes for sure. It's that the filter should be God. Put your God filter back on. Stop. And if you're like me and you get yourself really up high in the clouds, but not in a heavenly way, high in your own stuff, then sometimes you need to completely stop in order to just get grounded, get centered, get quiet with God and with his spirit again, and wait until it just kind of dissipates, however that might be. And that is through prayer. It is through reading the word, but not frantically looking for an answer, but instead, God, just speak into me what you would have me see or hear here. And sometimes it is through having an app or some other sort of a thing that allows you to just let it go. And it's also, of course, through these kinds of conversations, journaling, being in the secret garden, of course, which is truly amazing. You name it, that sort of a thing. So it is a bit of a practice and it's a discipline, but even with that bit, don't lean on your own strengths to be disciplined, to turn to God. Ask him to equip you. Lord, help me to see what you would have me put my hands on. Help me to see where you would have me let me go. Give me that, supernatural empowering and equipping to be disciplined, to turn to you first. And so when he has us use our capabilities, like our characteristics, our strengths and so on, it's through him. That's the thing. He's the engine. He's the fuel. He's the creator of all of it. He's the one who gave us those gifts and abilities, and they're powered through him. It's kind of like you can sort of charge your phone with a cheap, charger that you bought on the street, but you're going to blow that phone up at some point during that, and it's not necessarily going to work. So we convince ourselves that we can power ourselves in our own strength, and we convince ourselves that sometimes we have to, but we actually do know that we need the correct power source behind everything that we're doing. Otherwise, we're getting an extremely limited and, counterfeit and dangerous version of power, and potentially it's going to blow the whole situation up. So when we speak the word of God over our circumstances, things change. This is not maybe things change. This is not things change based on how long you've been a Christian or based on how many minutes a day you pray or anything like that at all. It is literally when you speak the word of God over you, things change. That is fact. It is finite. It is unchangeable.